I'm Heidi Crowell here at the Simon Says Stamp headquarters in Columbus, Ohio, with my phone beeping. Talk about a rookie mistake. Reed and Brian are here too, and they're probably gonna, hold on, let me turn this phone off. They're gonna catch me guarded.
You're good.
Okay, so we are here at the Simon Says Stamp office with an announcement with Gina K Designs. But before we bring her on screen, she's actually gonna be here with us today. I want to thank all of you for joining us and wish you a happy spring and soon to be summer. Talk about the time of year where we can get making and creative and open the windows and make something at our kitchen table or wherever your studio is or your space is. This is the time. It brings so much joy. I just want to hold on to that refrain, make joy. Over Easter weekend, I did some making in my studio and it really did bring me so much joy. So I hope you guys think about making and creating that joy for yourselves and spreading it. When you make something, share it with somebody else. So there's my little bit of preach for today. And if you're wondering who I am, I'm Simon's, founder, I guess you would say. Sometimes I say Simon's mama, Simon, our Boston Terrier, but I'm Heidi Crowell, and we're here with an announcement so sweet that I can see you all commenting live. That's what I love about doing live streams, because so many of you are guessing that we have a class planned with Gina K. We do not have a class planned with Gina, but we are working on that, and we can't wait to do and make an announcement about that another time. What we do have planned, and Reed, should we bring on Gina from Gina K Designs?
Yeah.
Hi, Gina. Hello.
Hey, hey, that was me texting you.
I'm sorry. Okay, does that make it Gina's fault or my fault that I left my phone on?
It's
Yeah,
my
it's
fault.
my fault. I left my phone on. Yeah, it's totally my fault. Gina, welcome.
Oh,
Gina's
yeah,
product line is something that we have carried here at Simon Says Stamp for, I would guess, 7 or 8 years, Gina. Does that sound about right?
yeah,
So it
yeah.
was really great that we met in person at that retreat in Cincinnati and decided to be business partners. And Gina allows us to carry her line of products. And many of you are big fans of Gina from Gina K Designs. She makes in her Stampin' Chats on her own YouTube channel, and many of you might even be watching on Gina's YouTube channel today. She also curates beautiful products that have a Gina K Designs brand name on them. And Gina, if you want to talk about what you've curated for today, I'll hand the mouthpiece over to you for that.
Okay, well, I am super excited about what we have today because we have a special deal for anybody that wants to purchase some Gina K Designs products or supplies. Maybe you are thinking about stocking up on some of those staples. And if you spend $75 or more at Simon Says Stamp of the Gina K Designs brand or ThermoWeb, you're going to get a free gift. And this gift is something that I designed. It is a stamp set and a coordinating die set called Peony Petals. So this is the stamp set and the die set. I can't believe you guys are doing the die set too. That is so incredible. What a deal. And it's a beautiful 2-step or 3-step stamping floral set with some really, really pretty greetings. And you get the full die set that cuts every single piece of this stamp set out. And that is yours free with any $75 purchase on Simon Says Stamp of Gina K Designs product or of ThermoWeb products. So that's pretty cool because I have a full line of foils and adhesives and all kinds of other fun things that I'm actually going to use some of that today here on our live. So I love this set so much.
Yay,
Heidi,
I
what
love
do you
it too,
think?
Gina. I want to point out a couple things because you guys are going to see Gina using this today. And I want to point a couple things that I love about this set, besides the obvious, really beautiful peony petals, flowers, and boy, are we all in the mood for flowers right now. Also included are these beautiful sentiments. Hello, thinking of you, and sending love in a beautiful scripted font. And the dies will coordinate these words for you perfectly with great detail. So Reed, do you want to switch the camera so we can see Gina? Because Gina is going to be creating with us. Thank you, Gina, for doing this. You're going to be creating, I say with us, but we all get to watch together. We're going to watch Gina use these products. They are available as a gift with purchase. So the retail value is just under $40. And the gift is with a $75 or more product purchase at Simon Says Stamp for Gina K Designs products, which also includes ThermoWeb, because she has some products under the ThermoWeb brand, really popular products. So that stamp and die set is going to be a gift, a free gift while supplies last, when you purchase $75 or more of products at Simon Says Stamp. So it is a great time for you to be stocking up on all kinds of Gina K products. I happen to love, if you don't have Gina's Intercut die cutting machine yet, I happen to love that. And that would very easily qualify you for this free gift with purchase. So Gina, if it's okay time for you, I think Reed's gonna take me off camera and you can get creating with this beautiful set.
Okay.
You ready, Tom?
Heidi, I can't
Gina's
believe.
gonna talk.
No, it's fine. It's fine. I just can't believe that you're doing the stamp set and the die set. That is an incredible value. I'm so excited about this. Now, I mean, I use the die set in quite a few different projects. So I think we should start with one of those. What do you think?
Well, yeah,
That sound good? Okay.
I got lucky.
All right.
I got to get sneak peeks of some of them while we were on the phone.
I know. I actually was hanging out with Heidi on the phone. We were FaceTiming with each other, and I was making projects. This was a few weeks ago. I was making projects with these stamps and dies, and I was showing her everything, and we were both so excited about it. So I think you guys are really going to love this stamp set and how easy it is to work with. But I wanted to show you how to center this little piece inside this flower, because it's very easy to do if you do it in the right order. All right, so let me show you that first, because I think that that is going to make a big difference when you get your set. So I'm going to get an acrylic block here. I have this one. This is one of our comfort blocks, which is really nice because they have this little bevel in them. We have a round one, we have square ones, we have rectangle ones, and they're super soft around the edges. There's no harsh edges at all. They're called comfort blocks and super easy to hold onto. That little bevel prevents you from dropping it. I don't know if you've ever dropped one, but that's not a fun thing to do. So, all right, so what I want to show you is, let me grab a black ink pad here, because I'm going to start by stamping a couple of the center pieces. Now I want to make sure that you guys can see me okay and that I'm zoomed in close enough. I think I am. Let me zoom in just a little bit more here. All right, and if you need me to do anything with my camera on my end, Reed, or Brian, just let me know.
So far,
Okay.
so good. You and Tom are doing great.
Okay, awesome. So these centers and these flowers go in two different directions. That's why there's two. And this way you can create clusters of flowers and they're not all facing the same way, like they wouldn't be facing the same way necessarily in nature. So I'm going to just ink this up on an acrylic block. Now you can do this on your MISTI, and I'll be using a MISTI a little bit later. But I think what I'm going to do first is just a couple of these. I'm going to just stamp that. We'll just do one here. And then I'm going to stamp one of the other ones. Now, if you're looking for things to qualify, make sure you pick up a tidy towel, because I know Simon Says Stamp carries our tidy towel, and it is a great way to clean your stamps and your stencils and your sticky mat, which I'm going to be using in a little bit. So that's a great tool. The only thing that you should ever clean your sticky mat with is the tidy towel and water. So it's a good one. All right, so I've stamped two going in one direction and one of them going in the opposite direction. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to stamp some of these flowers. Now you'll be able to tell which flower goes with what, because this almost looks like a little triangle shape, and there is kind of a straight side going down on the one side of the flower, and that matches up with the straight side of the center. So you can see, even if you're using your MISTI, it's very easy to position that flower in the right spot just by looking down on it. It's harder if you stamp the flower first to position the stamp, the inside in there. For some reason, I don't know why. Maybe it will be easier for you, but I struggled with that a little bit. So I think it's easier to do the center first. Now I'm going to use a red hot ink pad here, and I'm using my ink stand. I know you guys carry this ink stand too, Heidi. I was looking,
Yeah,
I
that's
was,
literally called the inkstand.
yes, and I was perusing your site today, looking at all the things that you carry. I mean, is there ever a bad time to shop for crafting supplies? No. All right, so I'm going to ink this up. And the other thing that I want to say is the quality of the stamps at Simon Says Stamp are amazing. I opened this package of stamps and I pulled them out, and I did not have to prep this stamp at all. I was able to just stamp it right out of the package and get a perfect impression. So kudos, Heidi. I love this. Okay, so you can see down here very easily. You know what? Let me put this on the sticky mat because see how my hand is moving it around? This is our sticky mat here. I'm just going to put it on here. It's great for so many things, even if you're not ink blending or you're not doing another technique that requires a mat. It's just great for holding your cardstock in place. All right, so now you can see here, you can look right down on that and get a perfect impression. See how easy that was to line that up? Now it's even easier if you use the MISTI because you can position your stamp and then you don't have to worry about gently stamping down on it. But look at the, wow, that is a great impression. I probably stamped that a little too close to that. So we'll do that one again on another piece. But I
Gina,
only
can you
have
tell
one
us
going
what
in.
color of ink that is again? That's really beautiful.
This is called Red Hot. This is our Red Hot ink. Red Hot is a really pretty red because it's got just a little hint of orange in it. We have 3 reds in our collection that a lot of people like. They like our cherry red, which is a true red with a little bit of a blue undertone, kind of like a cherry. We have Red Hot, which is red with just a hint of orange, feels a little bit like a calypso red. And then we have our Red Velvet, which is just red, right in the middle between them. So this one, I like this Red Hot for spring and summer because it's just so bright and cheerful. So there we go. I'm stamping that second one there. And you can see I'm leaving the stamp there for just a second to allow the ink to completely transfer. So if you ever have any trouble with ink looking blotchy, sometimes it's just because you're pulling it up too fast on a clear stamp and haven't given it a chance to completely transfer off of your paper. So I have another little piece of cardstock here from my scrap box. This one has a stitched edge, which I probably should use for something else, but I'm going to use it for this. And then I'm going to stamp one more of these in black on here. And then I'm going to go back to that same stamp that I was just using that has the straighter edge on that side because that lines up perfectly. And we're going to stamp this in red. All right. So Tom stepped out for a second. I don't think that we're getting comments coming through, which is fine. But if there are any comments or questions or anything, Reed, just let me know.
You got it. I got it pulled up on the other side.
Okay, great. And I don't know if you can see them coming in from my channel too, because we're streaming on both channels today. So.
They're popping up in that little box. I'm really surprised you're not seeing them.
Somebody said, I missed something from the beginning. Can you share with me what's going on?
Want me to share while you're stamping, Gina, or am I too disruptive
Sure.
if I do that?
No.
Okay, what's going on
that'd be
today
great.
is we have an exclusive gift available only at simonsaysstamp.com of 2 Gina K designs. It's a stamp set called Peony Petals, and then there's the coordinating die that goes with it. So that's the 2, the stamp set and the die, and they're a free gift. The stamp and die set are a free gift at simonsaysstamp.com. You don't even need a coupon code. If you purchase $75 of any Gina K Designs products or ThermoWeb products, automatically we will give you this Peony Petal stamp and die set, and the retail value is just under $40. So it's kind of a no-brainer that now is a great time for you to be stocking up on Gina's stamps, dies, stencils. Her inks are luxurious. She's just using the Red Hot, right, Gina? Red Hot?
Yeah, I used red hot and black onyx on this, and now I'm going to be using two greens. I'm going to be using Lucky Clover and our new Kelly green, which are really pretty together. This one is just a hair darker, and I'm going to put this on the Misty because I want to show a little fun technique that you can do. Yeah, that's a great deal for any of the people that normally patronize Gina K Designs. You know that die sets are they're not cheap to manufacture, that's for sure. So Simon Says Stamp giving you that die set too, that's an amazing deal. I'm still blown away.
We wanted to
Okay.
celebrate Gina K Designs brand, and what a great way to highlight it, talk about it all weekend. It is while supplies last, so we hope we have some left to talk about on Sunday, but it's a good time for us to showcase your beautiful brand, Gina. I know you take a lot of pride in the products that you put to market. I know you test them. I know you use them yourself. You're the, I call you the unicorn, and boy, are you. You're designing, using, teaching, all of the things. Running a business, pick, pack, and ship even. Oh my goodness, a website. Raising two daughters. You have a 2-year-old now, Zeus. You're meow.
Yes, I have a 2-year-old cat. Yes, I do. Okay, so I wanted to show you how this is our Lucky Clover, and you can see how nice and solid that is. But what I'm going to do for this little technique here is I stamp that twice just to get it a little bit darker. I'm just going to stamp it once here so that it's a little bit lighter. It's okay if it's a little bit sketchy. And then I'm going to go over it with a little bit of Kelly green, and I'm just going to hit the Kelly green in a couple areas to darken that up along the edges. So can you see how that got a little bit darker along these edges? And it just makes it look a little bit more watercolory that way. So that's a real fun technique. It's kind of like the rock and roll technique where do you remember that technique, Heidi? Rock and roll? You don't know? Okay, let me show you that. Oh gosh. Am I old? I think I'm old. But let me show you the rock and roll technique.
You're like 3 weeks older than I am. That makes us both old. Rock and roll. Is it a Misty technique? Because I'm back in the days when original techniques.
It's actually an acrylic block technique where you would take a stamp, and this is fun because you can only do that with these kinds of stamps, with these solid chunky stamps. So let me grab an orange ink pad here. I'll just grab some Tangerine Twist. So the rock and roll technique was super fun because you could stamp using one color, like this is sweet corn, but then you would take this stamp and you would roll just the edges around the second color, and it would give you kind of a faded look in there. You see how you get some yellow and you get some orange? That's the rock and roll technique. And you can only do a lot of these kinds of techniques with these kinds of solid stamps. So we'll do that one more time here where I don't drop it. Okay, so just like, we're just gonna like touch the edges just a little bit. And you can see how it just gives you a little bit of color around the edge.
What?
Isn't that fun?
Yes.
Isn't that cute? That's so fun.
I love this.
Oh, shall we show, oh guys, shall we show Heidi another fun technique? Let's show her another fun technique. Okay, so this is rock and roll. You can also do rock and roll on your Misty. So if you want a more solid color, you can take your sweet corn and you can stamp it once. If you want it a little bit deeper, you can take that same color. I love sweet corn. You can take that same color and stamp it a second time to get it a little bit deeper. And then you can take your ink and you can just touch the edges. See, I have my ink at an angle, not straight on. So we're just touching the edges a little bit. And then we can add that. See how pretty that is? Isn't that fun?
I love this.
Yeah, so these kinds of stamps are perfect for this technique. And flowers with spring, I mean, you could do all kinds of color combinations. You can do pinks with little purple edges. You can do pinks with little red edges. And then we have to show Heidi the kissing technique. Let me find.
Don't tell my daughter.
I
She'll be
won't.
15 in a few weeks. She doesn't know that word exists.
Doesn't know kissing. So
She
this
better
is,
not.
this is the chalet background stamp. I love this one. This is one of my new favorite stamps. And I especially like this because the design is great for flowers because you can center those flowers onto the design and have that part in the center of the flower. You see that? I love this for any kind of round stamp. You can get a really cool look. So let me show you the kissing technique, Heidi. You're going to like it. All right. You're going to like it, Heidi. Okay. So I'm going to stamp this first with sweet corn. Okay. And we'll do another layer of that sweet corn just to darken it up a little bit. Then what I'm going to do is I am going to ink up a little portion of this chalet background stamp using this sweet mango ink. So I'm just going to ink up like right on one of these flower areas. Like that. And then I'm going to kiss that right onto the stamp. Like that.
Oh, it's like you're stamping onto your stamp.
I'm stamping onto my stamp, and then I'll stamp that on top, and we get that super cool little pattern. Is that fun?
Yes. I love the
Yeah.
pattern.
I love the pattern too. And that's kissing on, but there's also kissing off.
Are you going to show us kissing off too?
Why not? Why not? Let's just
I hope you
let's just do
trademarked these names.
yeah. So I'll just stamp one more and show you kissing off, and then we'll move on to our cards because I do have a lot I want to show you today. So when you're doing kissing off, it's better to go with a darker, deeper color. So I'm going to use turquoise C for this. So I'm going to stamp that in turquoise C, get it nice and inky, and then I'm going to take the clean stamp and I'm going to press the stamp onto the other stamp to pull that design off. And that'll just leave white space in between instead of a color. So that's kissing color off.
Can you
Isn't
tell
that
us again
fun?
that blue color name? It's really pretty.
This is turquoise C.
Mm.
Turquoise C. Okay, so back to the card that we were making. I am going to stamp a couple of extra stems here. So let me find another piece of cardstock. Got a bunch of white cardstock here ready to go. And you guys carry our white cardstock, don't you? I'm pretty sure you
Yes.
do.
What
Yes,
is-
you carry
Is that
you
what you
carry
have right
everything.
there?
Yeah, and this is, you know, if people are looking for things like supplies to stock up on to get this free stamp and die set, I highly recommend you try some of the Gina K Designs layering weight white cardstock. It is so good for ink blending, and it's great for stamping. It gives you a really crisp image. It's super smooth. It's probably one of the smoothest cardstocks on the market. So okay, I'm going to stamp this one, and I'm going to stamp this one.
Show us an emoji in the chat if you've done one of these kissing techniques or any kissing technique with your stamps before. Show Gina some emoji love.
Anne wants me to show you the smack and acetate technique, but we'll have to do that another day. We'll
That'll
leave
be
you-
in Gina's Stampin' Chat, which is what
Yeah.
days and times, Gina?
Tuesday night at 7 p.m. Central and Thursdays at noon Central. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and add a little bit of this darker Kelly green just to the sides here, just to add a little bit of interest to this. Kind of deepen up those stems a little bit on the sides. And you can do that with any colors that you have. So, you know, whatever colors you have, whatever, mix and match them. You can do blues and greens together and they look amazing. I'm going to do one more of these because I do need 3 stems. So we'll do one more.
You got a lot of
Let
kissers
you-
in the chat, Gina. There's a lot of people sharing emojis. So they've
Oh, they're
done a
doing
kissing
the
technique with their
the
stamps
kissing
before.
emoji.
Kissing technique.
That's so cute. I love that they're sharing the lips rather than just saying the kissing technique.
The rock and roll is totally new to me. I like that with the edges too.
Rock and roll's fun. Yeah. And you really do need like a roundish flower. So that's very like consistent around the edges. So this one works really well for that technique. Okay, so I'm going to die cut these now with this amazing die set. I am going to use the intracut that Heidi talked about. So for those of you that are new to the intracut, I will tell you that this machine has saved a lot of grief for a lot of people because you don't have to worry about shims because it's got a dial here on the side that allows you to just switch the dial from die cut to 2D embossing and letterpress and 3D embossing. And then if you need it tighter or looser, you can just dial it in with that bottom dial. And we've had lots of people who have said to us that it just saved them so much frustration over the years since we came out with this machine because they don't have to worry anymore about trying to figure out the different sandwiches and how many pieces of extra cardstock they have to shove in there to make it work with different companies' dies or embossing folders. You just turn that dial a little bit and make it tighter. So it's kind of nice. Now I'm using the magnetic mat here for this. I can cut these two out. The magnetic mat is a separate purchase that you can get, but it does come with everything that you need right out of the box to start your die cutting and embossing adventure.
Oh, so the magnetic mats have been restocked. Great.
And the magnetic mat is cool because it allows you to do a lot of the coordinating stamp and die cutting, where the other mat is great for, you know, plain shapes and standalone dies. This one allows you to put that die down there and you don't have to tape it on there because it just holds everything in place, which is really nice. And the other thing I do want to tell you about this magnetic mat before we move on, because this is a problem. I don't know if you've ever experienced this, Heidi, but some magnetic mats actually have little individual magnets inside, and you'll put your die on there and it will jump. It'll jump to the closest magnet.
Mm-hmm.
So that makes it a little bit more difficult when you're trying to line it up with a stamp set because it moves toward the magnet. This is all solid magnet, so you don't have to worry about that. And then so this is magnetic, and they go together. And then it doesn't matter where you put your paper on the mat, it's not going to jump to a magnet because the whole thing is a magnet. So just get
That's what I love about somebody like Gina who designs products and brings them to market. She knows what we need. She knows about that little nuance of the jumping dies on a magnet sheet that might not be solid. So she brings the product to market, she tests it, she uses it, and it's known to be quality. And us as stampers appreciate that. I know I do.
Oh, thanks, Heidi. Yeah, it does make a difference. I think it's good to be a crafter and know what frustrates you when you're designing a product so that you can work around those things. All right, so these are pretty easy to line up because they're not a perfect circle, so it's very easy to see the shape of them when you're positioning them. So we'll do these two, and then I have one more to cut out. And then we're going to use our brand new master layout sets. So if you've never heard of the master layout series, it's a great series of dies that allow you to mix and match and create card layouts. Remember scrapbooking and scrapbooking layouts and how, you know, we would page through books and try to figure out where to place our pictures and where to place things? Well, now we have this master layout series, which helps you do something similar when it comes to card making. these different die sets contain different pieces that layer together to create nice little shadow layers, but they also have pieces, place your focal image and place your greeting, things like that. So I'm going to use our brand new one. We're all the way up to 21. We've been doing this master layout series for, I think, about 3 or 4 years now, and we're up to master layouts 21. So this is the latest master layout set. Master layouts 21 works and coordinates, for those of you that already have our master layouts series or some of the die sets, it coordinates perfectly with master layouts 2. And what we did with this one, and let me explain to you what I mean by that. So master layouts 2 was one of our very first sets. This has a die in it that has a stitched edge. And it has a die in it that has a plain edge. And when you put these two dies together, you get this perfect little shadow layer. They nest perfectly together. And when I say they nest together with a shadow layer, it gives you the shadow layer that all the card makers want. We don't want a big wide layer. We want a skinny little layer that goes around the perimeter of your card. But it's kind of a hard thing to cut. It's not always easy. Let me get a different piece of cardstock for behind this. It's not always easy to get that perfect cut, but when you use the master layouts dies, you can see it's perfectly straight and you're going to get that perfect edge. Well, people love this die set, and it is our very, very best seller because they like the way when you lay these two panels together on an A2 card, how it gives you a nice thick frame of color around the outside. I mean, you've got this beautiful colored cardstock. There really is no reason why you want to only show that much of it, right? So this really frames that out nicely. But some people were saying that the only thing they didn't like about Master Layouts 2 is on certain cards, they didn't want the stitching. So we heard them, we heard everybody, and Master Layouts 21 has a plain die that replaces the stitch die in Master Layouts 2, so you can still use this piece from Master Layouts 2, but then you can use this one on top and it will create the same exact layer, but without the stitching. Some people felt that the stitching was almost a little bit too pretty for maybe a masculine card or maybe an elegant Christmas card. They just didn't want the stitching. So the stitching is great on a lot of things, but it's nice to have that option. And then we did a couple things that coordinate with it, like this cool edge die. We did this combination, which works beautifully. You can see how nice and detailed these dies cut too. Here's what this die looks like cut out. Isn't that pretty? You can do a lot. You can cut it down the middle. You can use just the border on your card. You can use this for a cross piece that goes across the center of your card with a focal image, a flower, and a greeting. And then if you think that this might be too much or you want to stamp a greeting over it, it's got this one that you can cut, that you can place, and it fits perfectly in there, leaving a little border on each side of color so that you can stamp a greeting in there instead. And then it's got a layered arch. So it's got an arch, which arches are very popular right now, but it's also got the little shadow layer that gives us that tiny little edge that everybody wants, but it's really hard to cut. And it's certainly difficult to cut anything rounded with a paper cutter. You just can't do it. So it's nice to have those two that are so tight and give you that nice little edge. So I am going to use this die from Master Layouts 21, but before I do that, I'm going to do a little bit of ink blending. So I am going to put this die cutting machine away for a second. Oh, did you feel that grip? Did you hear that grip?
I heard those sections, yes.
That's because this die cutting machine has these feet on the bottom that grip to your table. And what's really cool about that is it's not going anywhere. And you can actually turn the handle with just one hand. You don't even have to put any pressure on the top, and it's going to send that die right through. If you have arthritis or you have shoulder issues, this is the closest manual die cutting machine to an electric die cutting machine. So for those who don't want the heaviness of an electric machine, they want the portability. They want to be able to take it when they travel, and they want to be able to just pop the handle off. The handle just pops right off, and you can store it. You can store it right in the drawer here. There's 2 drawers for storage, so you can store that handle when you are traveling.
Oh, Gina.
Isn't that
I love
cool?
this.
Yeah, I love this too. I love this machine. And then real easy to put the handle back on. So that saves a little storage space, but there we go. It is stuck to the table. All right. So now I'm going to get a plain piece of white cardstock. And I'm going to pop this right here on my sticky mat. And then I'm going to ink blend some color. I want to feature these 2 greens again. So I want to do the Lucky Clover and the Kelly Green. I'm going to start with the Lucky Clover. And I'm going to ink this up. And then I'm just going to start kind of from the side here, coming in, and just doing a nice soft blend of Lucky Clover. Just a nice blend here. And then I'm going to add a little bit of that Kelly green down near the bottom. Now you could cut this out just using what I'm going to cut out, just using regular cardstock. However, having that little bit of shading in there and a little bit of texture in there from the ink blending just kind of steps it up a little bit, and it makes it look a little bit more interesting. So you can see the difference in the Kelly green. It's a little bit of a darker green. And this is all going to smooth out because Gina K Designs ink has a smoothing agent in it, which allows your ink blending to be really airbrushed. It looks really airbrushed when it all dries. So I just wanted to do that because I'm going to cut out this die. I'm going to make sure I ink blended enough. I'm going to cut out this die with it and kind of make like, instead of something that looks like grass, I'm going to just make something that kind of has a hill feel, but it's got that little scalloped edge instead of blades of grass. So it's just a decorative little hill. All right. And then we're only ever going to clean this sticky mat with water and the tidy towel. And you want to use something like the tidy towel. I have several tidy towels here because I get so inky and I don't like to stop and go and wash my tidy towel in between. So I have several of them. But you can see I didn't clean this pink off in my last video yesterday. I just let it sit for a while and it stained it. But if you catch it right away, it doesn't stain quite as badly. But that won't transfer at all. And a stained mat is a loved mat, so we're not going to worry too much about those little stains. Okay, so now I'm going to get my die cutting machine again. Let me get that blending brush out of the way so I don't put my hand on it. And then we're going to cut this out. Now here, I'm going to use my regular mat that came with the Intracut. This is the regular cutting mat, not the magnetic mat. And the reason I'm using the regular one that comes with it as opposed to the magnetic one, this mat, each time you use it, you flip it over and that will help keep it from warping. But with the magnetic mat, you can only cut on one side. The other side is actually the magnet that sticks it to the base. So I only use that mat for when I'm cutting coordinating dies so I can get it centered well and I can, you know, not have to be taping it all up. But when it comes to standalone dies, I always use the original mat that came with the machine. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and cut this. So I have the cutting mat on the bottom and the plate on the top. I think it's really interesting. I hear people say all the time how easy it is to cut with this machine, that they barely have to hold on at all. And if you haven't tried it yet and you have a friend that has one, just get over there and ask them if you can use it, because I think you'll really be impressed. All right, so I'm going to put that aside. I'm just going to quickly clean this out in case we use it again. How are you doing over there, Heidi?
I'm good. There's been some questions about the plates and things, and I just want to remind everybody that if something is out of stock on the website, just click notify me when back in stock. There's a button on the website, and as soon as it's restocked, we will send you an automatic email to let you know that the product has been restocked. It is great that this promotion, which is the free stamp and die set with any $75 Gina K ThermoWeb purchase, you guys are really stocking up your carts right now, which is great. But what's going to happen is that's going to lead to some out of stock. So early shoppers are definitely going to get the best selection because people are loving this promotion. All you have to do is spend $75 and you get a free gift that's a $40 value, almost $40, like $39.97 or something. And Gina, I love that you pulled out the yellow. You're even wearing yellow. Gina knows my favorite color is yellow. I don't know, maybe I'm just being a nerdy by saying that, but
no,
I love yellow.
Right. When I was making these cards, I thought I had to do yellow because it's Heidi's favorite color, and because it's spring and it's such a happy color, right? Once we pass Easter, yellow all the time. I love yellow. So you can see how this just fits perfectly on there. So you don't have to worry about cutting this perfectly to match. This is part of the beauty of the master layout series, that if something coordinates with another master layouts die set, you know those edges are going to line up perfectly without having to do any trimming at all. All right, so I'm going to tape this down, but I'm going to leave a little bit of space right here in my taping, just so that I can stick those branches underneath there. So I'm going to just go just a little bit in here.
So nice. The scallop fits perfectly into the frame. Nicely designed, Gina.
I love that. Okay.
Somebody said you wash your tidy towels with Tom's laundry. Is that true, Nancy? Is that a rumor, or does Gina admit to that?
I admit to that.
Tom is Gina's husband. Is he still on, or is he in the other room working on something else?
He's still here. He's still here.
Hi, Tom.
Say hello, Tom. Come say hi. He just pops in every now and then. Okay, so you can see how that just gives you that nice little shadow layer behind there. And we're going to pop that right onto that bright, I should have named this Heidi Yellow. We're going to pop that right into our wild dandelion cardstock.
Wild dandelion. Somebody asked about the color. Wild dandelion.
Dandelion, yeah. Okay. And then I'm going to just arrange these as if I was doing a little floral arrangement. And I'm going to tuck that stem under there. And I'm going to tuck this stem right under here. Just going to overlap any way I want. It's just going to look like it's just one big plant coming out. And then I want to have the opposite ones next to each other up here. So I'm going to have this one up here. I like to do my layout first. This one here. And I can tuck that one down a little bit. And then I'll put this one here. So we're going to do like a little cluster of flowers there, just growing out. Now, if you prefer, you can also do this layout where you've got your flowers going across. Maybe we should do that on this one.
We can take a vote, top and bottom, or like horizontal or vertical.
We can. Let's just pull that out a little bit. We can kind of do, which do you like better, Heidi?
I like this because I feel like you can put a cute message at the top.
Okay.
But all right, I'm not trying to boss you around. You're the queen.
No, let's do it. I think this is cute. This is so cute. I love it. And we can put a message, or we could put the message right here too, which would be cute, and just give a little bit of white space. Because I'm a white space kind of gal. I like a little white space in in my cards. So let's do that. I love that idea. All right, so I'm going to put this directly onto the card, and I'm going to overhang these leaves a little bit onto the edge, but not going past here because we want it to still fit into the envelope. Okay.
Don't forget to mail your cards, guys. It's so nice when you
Oh,
see somebody. Just the other day, I saw somebody and they said, "Thanks for sending me the birthday card." And I was like, "Oh my gosh, you're welcome. It was a
that
long time ago."
that is nice. Yeah. I have a little challenge in my Facebook group where we're trying to mail cards. Like, we're at the beginning of each month, we make all the cards for all the birthdays that we need for that month, and make them, label them, address them, and have them sitting there. And then once a week, we do a little post office run. That's so cute.
That is cute.
That looks
What's
so
the name of your
happy.
Facebook group, Gina, that people talk? People might want to join along with you who are watching today.
Oh, sure. Yeah, we would love that. It's called Gina K Designs and Stamp TV Friends. And that name came from, originally, my YouTube channel was called Stamp TV. And we had a standalone website called Stamp TV that was just all videos because, I mean, I'm kind of old. When I started my YouTube channel, when I started, YouTube wasn't even a thing yet. It was Google Video. That's old.
It's
That's
like
a
the
long
early
time ago.
2000s. Is that right, Gina?
Yeah,
You're not
yeah,
that old, but it does feel like a lifetime ago.
yeah, it
Yes.
does. Okay, so we have those three going across, and then let's do, this would be a nice little thinking of you card, something perfect that you could send to a friend just to let them know that they're in your thoughts. We could pick any of these greetings, but I'm going to do the thinking of you because I think it's bright and cheerful and fun. Okay, I'm going to get the Misty back out here, and I'll make use of this piece. And we'll stamp thinking of you in black onyx. Now you could stamp it right on here if you wanted to. Do you want me to do
Risky
that?
move.
Yeah, I know, but let's do it. Let's do it. And the reason why I want to do it is because the good thing is, if you do it and it doesn't look good, you can just stamp it again and die cut it and pop it right over that spot. So it's not super risky. But there's another thing that you can do. I just have to make sure that this doesn't move. Another thing that you can do is you can take your stamp sheet. This is the stamp set, right? You can take your stamp sheet and you can stick it right on there. And you can stamp on that first to see if it looks straight.
Clever.
All right, so that looks pretty straight to me. That looks pretty good. I feel good about that. So I'm going to take my tidy towel and I'm just going to clean that off my stamp sheet. And now I feel good about where it's positioned. So I've seen it once. So although it's risky, it's less risky because we did check it first. There we go.
Ta-da!
Oh, I love that. That's so fun.
Beautiful.
It's such a fun, cute little set. And then let's just add a couple little embellishments here. These are my go-tos. These are my staple embellishments. I use them all the time. These are our little crystal clear sequins. They've got a couple different styles in them. They've got these like flowers, which I've used in the center of flowers before. They've got these bigger ones that are a little bit cupped. Where did it go? Oh, here it is. That are a little bit cupped. You can see that, a little cupped. And then it's got these tiny little flat ones. And if you are worried about mailing something, you don't have to worry because the flat ones, they don't create any bulk on your card at all. So I'm just going to add a couple of the little flat ones here, even though we have these popped up with some foam squares. Now the glue that I'm using is the Gina K Designs Connect glue. It's our matte glue. I do like the matte glue. I put it in one of our fine tip bottles. I like the matte glue for embellishments because if the glue squirts out around the outside of the embellishment, you don't have to worry at all. It's going to completely disappear. It dries clear. And I have glue on the tip of that one. I've got to pick it off. It dries clear, but it also will dry matte. So you don't see it at all. It just completely disappears off of your card. So we'll just put 3 little embellishments on there. A few more.
Definitely the most popular glue.
Yeah.
Yes. I think, what was
And
it,
then
like 3 or 4 years ago, I said for 2 years in a row, it was the #1 selling, do you remember that, Reed? #1 selling product at Simon Says Stamp.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That's amazing. That's crazy.
Now you've got
Yeah,
more sizes and
And we have
bottles.
our regular Connect glue, which is a very, very popular glue because it doesn't warp your paper, and it's super sticky, but that one is great for paper. It's great for, layers and things like that. The matte glue is great for doing like delicate die cuts together and embellishments because you don't see it when it dries. All right, so there's that card. And I did make a card similar to this with the other layout, just for those of you that were cheering for the other layout. There it is. You can see what the
Yay!
other layout looked like. So that's kind of fun.
Beautiful,
All right.
Gina. Can I do
Yeah.
PSAs while you're showing those, or you want me to
Yeah.
wait? 'Cause I can wait.
No, yeah, go ahead. I'm going to get ready for another card here.
Beautiful. So I guess in the, the emojis, I want to know what you guys think now that you can see. Do you like the up and down flowers, or do you like the horizontal flowers across? I'd love to hear what you guys think of that too. In the meantime, I'll do a little bit of chatting because I saw Gloria in the chat, in our live chat, mails 30 to 50 cards a month. And I just wanted to say, hot diggity dog, Gloria. That is so awesome. That's a great challenge
Wow.
for all of us. And Gina has her Facebook group, the Gina K Designs Stamp and Chat TV, or Stamp. What's the name of your Facebook group, Gina? I don't.
It's Gina K Designs and Stamp TV Friends. Tom, do you want to just throw it up there so that they can see what that looks like? Yeah, there
Yes,
you go.
that
That's
is
the name
where
of our
she
group.
was talking. What she was talking about earlier. That Facebook group, they encourage people to mail the cards that they're making. Love it. And then, my goodness, Josie McCreary asked a great question about Create. Gina is going to have a booth at our Simon Says Create event. She personally will not be there this year, but she will have representatives from Gina K, and her brand will be there. Her daughter's wedding happens to be right after. And one person can only do so many things at a time, I think we've all learned. But
Yeah.
Josie had a question about an email that will be going out. We do have emails planned to go out. Brian has been working on them, and our goal is to start sending them next week. Because if you already have your tickets for Create, and if you're going, you really do need to already have your tickets because it sold out. So you don't come to Columbus, Ohio thinking that we have tickets available. We don't. So if you already have a ticket, that means we have your email address, and that means we are going to start sending emails next week, just reminders, and also a sign up very similar to what we did at our last Create will be coming out. Am I missing another? That's good for now. There were some hotel rooms that became available because our block, just the way that hotels work, there were like, I don't know, 3 hotel rooms that somebody got lucky enough to snag at like 2 o'clock in the morning. So we didn't even announce or send an email about that because those were gone as soon as they were released. But if you're coming to Create, there's so many hotels in the area. They're listed on our blog, and you can see simonsaysstampblog.com for Create. And you can also look at the event center, which is now called the Ohioan. There are tons of hotels near the Ohioan in great parts of town, the north part of Columbus, which is where we are right now, actually. Okay, Gina, I'll stop talking. It looks like you're ready to go.
Oh no, that's fine. I'm just getting prepped here. Do you have anything else you want to add, or are you good?
People were voting for vertical horizontal. It feels like it's a really good 50-50 split, though.
Oh, that's fun. Okay, well, I'm going to show you a really fun card and a fun way to use these stamps as silhouette stamps. So silhouette stamping is super popular where you're not really stamping in color, but you're just stamping in black, right? And we do tons of silhouette stamping on my channel, and we all have such a love for it. Well, this stamp set doesn't have to be stamped in color like this, even though it's super cute when it is. It can be used as a basic silhouette stamp too. Now, I'm going to use this stencil. This is called the Masked Oval Stencil. And what I'm going to do is I want to show you here on this stencil. Can you see, if I hold it in the light, you can see those etched lines? These etched lines coordinate with three different things. First, they coordinate with an A2 card base, which is the outer etched edge. They coordinate with our Master Layouts 1 die set, which is the second one in, and they coordinate with our Master Layouts 2, which is the third one in. And that allows you to perfectly center this oval onto your cardstock just by looking where that etched line is. Now it's a little easier. I'm going to just hold it up to the light here so that I can see through it. So I know you're not able to see what I'm doing, but you can up in the top corner there to make sure that I'm centered. And once I have that centered, then I can just lay the whole thing down right onto my sticky mat. And now that oval is centered in the center of my cardstock. And we did the 3 lines because some of you like to just do a single layer folded card, but a lot of you love our master layouts. And rather than trying to figure it out, just makes it easy to go along the etched line. Okay, so now I have this in place. And now I'm going to use some of our Masking Magic strips for this. If you haven't seen the strips before, they come in 3 sizes in the pack. You get 1/8 inch strips, 1/4 inch strips, and 1/2 inch strips. And I have tons of videos on my channel on how to use these, but this is one of those things that anytime a lot of our friends place an order for Gina K Designs products, this is actually made by ThermoWeb, they put a pack of these in because I use them all the time in my videos, and there's so many great applications for them. I'm going to show you a fun way to use it today. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to use the 1/8 inch strips, and I'm going to just lay these strips over the oval. And I'm going to kind of stagger them a little bit, and I'm going to just tack them down onto the paper. Now, you can do this a different way too. You could put them down first and then lay the oval on top, and that'll probably prevent any little leakage right here. But I think we're going to be fine if we just take our nail and kind of just push that down. We should be just fine. All right, and then I'm going to do one here like this. And then I'm going to do one more just down here at the bottom. I use these all the time. Tom, you're probably sick of seeing this. You probably like more strips, but the techniques that you can do with these, they're great for blocking off the border around the outside. So you can do an ink blend and then peel them off, and it already looks like a layer because you have a white layer around the outside automatically. I use the thicker ones, the 1/2 inch ones, to hold dies down because it's such gentle masking paper that it will never, ever tear your cardstock. So many great uses for it.
I've got a random
Okay.
one, Gina.
You do?
You've been to my house, so you kind of know the setup. So when my daughter, I have a message. First of all, I do a lot of die cutting with these. I also use them to tape my die cuts sometimes to my boards, and I do that in my kitchen island. And so I had them in my kitchen drawer. So I use them to hang up notices for my daughter on the kitchen refrigerator that I don't want her to miss. Or in my little mail area, I'll use it instead of a Post-it note, and I can write on it, and it doesn't leave the residue behind on my refrigerator like some of the other tape I was using did. So kind of
It's true, yeah. Yeah, it's great. I mean, you can even stick this onto the sticky mat and it doesn't pull the sticky off of the sticky mat. So that's just if you don't want anything to move. That's a great use for it, Heidi. I love that. Okay, so I'm going to use this stencil next. This is called the Harvest Flourish stencil. And I'm going to use just some simple Post-it notes. Now you could use thicker Masking Magic strips or Masking Magic sheets, but I think this will be enough here. And I'm just going to put that Post-it note. I'm covering the Masking Magic strip, but only about halfway. This way I know I'm going to get a nice crisp edge. So the first color I'm going to use is, let's see, I'm going to use Lucky Clover. All right. And I'm going to do a super super gentle ink blend. Let me just brush a little bit of the Kelly green off of this brush onto a paper towel. I'm going to do a super light blend of Lucky Clover. And you see I'm starting onto the stencil, not right onto my cardstock there, because I want it to be a nice smooth blend. Just a nice, gentle, easy blend. Okay, then I'm going to go back over that with this stencil and I'm going to ink it up. And now I'm going to go a little bit of a heavier hand with that same color just to give it a little bit of texture in there. Okay, now I'm going to pull this off, being careful not to lift the masking magic. And I'm going to, I'll use a new Post-it note here. I'm going to put another Post-it note right here going in this direction. And then I'm going to put some Post-it notes right here just to, it's like we're doing surgery. We're draping for surgery here. We just want to isolate this area. And now I'm going to use some turquoise sea ink. And I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to use a really light hand just to add some turquoise sea on here. A nice soft blend of turquoise sea. Beautiful. And now, instead of doing a stencil this time, I'm going to use this chalet background stamp. And I'm going to ink it up with some turquoise sea. Just get some nice inky spot there. And if you want darker, deeper color, you can always go to a darker color. And I'm going to stamp that into that open space.
No code needed,
There we go.
Linda. Sorry to interrupt
There
you.
we go. Oh no, that's okay. So I'm going to clean that a little bit and put that aside. Now, I'm going to peel these off.
Whoa, there
So
we
don't
go.
forget to don't forget to use your background stamps in this technique, because I usually show this technique using strictly stencils, but it's so fun with your different background stamps too. Okay, so here we go. Now I'm going to use a purple. So I'm going to use light lilac. Such a pretty color, the light lilac. It's kind of a wisteria-like color. I am going to use the Harvest Flourish again. So I'm just going to take a little bit of alcohol and a paper towel. I'm going to clean that green off of there. Now, I know that some people use alcohol in a spray bottle. That seems to work really well. And Heidi, you must have all kinds of sprayers that would work for that, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I think
Misters and
Tim has a
sprayers and
sprayer. Yeah. But if you're a little bit sensitive, you know, you can always just dump it right out of the bottle onto a paper towel. And then I'm going to drape this off here like this. And I'm going to get myself a purple blending brush. And I'm going to do a nice gentle layer of light lilac. We have a lovely lavender and a light lilac, and that's a lot of L's. I get them mixed up. But this color, it's got a little bit of a periwinkle violet to it. Such a pretty color. Great spring color. And it's part of a trio. So we have light lilac, medium lilac, and dark lilac, which coordinate together. Now I'm going to pop that Harvest Flourish stencil right back on there. And I'm going to go with a heavier hand. I'm going to add a little bit of texture in there.
Can I answer some chat questions, Gina?
You bet.
So Carlo asked a question about the free gift with purchase. So for those of you who are just now joining or were so busy enthralled with what Gina was doing, maybe you weren't hearing me as much as watching Gina, which is totally fine. That free gift with purchase It's a stamp and die set, and it will automatically go into your shopping cart. Our little elves behind the scenes, the shopping cart AI, I don't know. How does that happen, Brian? I don't know. It will automatically go into your shopping cart once you have $75 or more of any Gina K Designs products or ThermoWeb products. So it's a great time for you to stock up on those Masking Magic, on her stamp mat, on her inks, on her blending tools, on her stamps, dies, these stencils she's using. I love this oval concept she's got with this stencil now. And it's automatically going to be added to your cart. You will not have to do a coupon code. We do only allow one promotion per order. So if you do add a different coupon code, it won't add the stamp and die set for you. But just know $75 of any Gina K Design or ThermoWeb products in your stamp and die set will automatically go into your Simon Says Stamp shopping cart. It is only available at Simon Says Stamp. These exclusive stamps and dies are called Peony Petals, only available at Simon Says Stamp. So if you're watching us on Gina's channel, just know it is a Simon Says Stamp exclusive. We wanted to highlight Gina's brand. We love Gina. We love her products, her brand. There's a great opportunity for us to work together and do something special and exciting for all of you in the middle of spring, which I love that it's spring.
I love that.
What's the stencil you have in your hand now, Gina? The flourishy one? That's really pretty.
So we're going to go back to that Harvest Flourish stencil again. We just finished up doing a second one with the Chalet stamp. And now we're going to go ahead and do one more with the Harvest Flourish. Let me just get rid of some of my ink here. And we're going to go back to that green color again. So we're going to go back to Lucky Clover again. And we're going to do the same thing that we did in the very top one. We're going to use Lucky Clover with a light hand. And then we're going to use the Harvest Flourish stencil on top. And we're going to do Lucky Clover with a little bit of a heavier hand. All right. So that gives us all those different segments of patterns that are so pretty using both stamps and stencils. And now we get to peel and reveal. So I can peel this whole thing off at one time just by pulling this off, and look at what's left behind.
Ooh,
Isn't that pretty?
Gina, yes.
Isn't that nice?
Yes.
That's so fun. Now this gives us a really interesting backdrop to stamp our silhouette stamp on top, rather than just a simple ink blend, which simple ink blends are beautiful, but sometimes we just feel like, oh, I need to jazz this card up just a little bit more. So we're going to do that using the new peony petals, and we're going to make the peony petals into just a plain black silhouette stamp. So let's get that on here. So I'll put that into the Misty. Isn't that so pretty? Love it. Okay, so we're going to stamp all three parts of this flower. I'm going to use this one to stamp down here. Then I'm going to attach the head of the stamp onto the stem, and then I'm going to stamp the center, right? But I like to stamp the center of the flower first. So I want to see about where this would go. I think that's going to go there. This is going to go in here. So my center of my flower is going to go right about here. And wherever it ends up, we'll just look at that, make sure that's going to look good. I think that'll look good. Maybe I'll move it down just a tiny little bit. And that's where it's going to go. So once we get the center locked in, and we know that the flower itself isn't going to go outside of that. I want it to go outside of the oval. I just don't want it to go outside of the cardstock. So I'm going to start by stamping the center with my black ink pad, because it's just easier to line up this way. So we'll stamp that first. Then we're going to position the flower where we want it, which is this one. And it's very easy to see how to position it. So I've got that in position. And we're going to stamp that in black. And we can, oh, that just stamps so pretty in black. You know, when you see a stamp set like this, you initially think, okay, it's 3 steps. I need to figure out what color my flowers are going to be, what color my stems are going to be. But I don't think a lot of people think about the idea that this could be a beautiful silhouette stamp. And it is stunning as a silhouette stamp. And we're going
I
to
love
put
that you
that
think of
right
it and you
there.
show us.
I do my best. Okay, so now we're going to stamp the stem. And it's very easy to line up. And if it's not perfect, it's perfect enough. Look at that.
Ta-da.
Isn't
Ooh, the
that just
black ink is nice and
striking?
rich. Yes.
Oh, and it's just a striking look. I love that. Okay, and now we're going to do the unthinkable. We're going to stamp the greeting right on here.
Ah, risky.
I know, risky, but we can always, remember, we can always restamp it and adjust it a little bit. Because remember, when you die cut the greeting, you do have a little outline, right? So if it's off just a tiny bit, the outline will take up for that. But again, we don't have to be, you know, we don't have to do this blind. We can take that index sheet from our stamp set and we can lay it right on there. And we can do a quick check just to make sure we feel like it looks good enough. See, I'm just looking at the word love. And if the word love is straight, because that's a block letter, I think it's going to be just fine. So I feel good about that. But don't
I do
forget to
too.
clean your stamp sheet. You feel good about it too?
Yeah, you're teaching us risk with like backup.
Yes, exactly. And then we always have that extra backup because we can just stamp it right onto to the die cut piece too. Now this is going to lighten up quite a bit because I was a little heavy-handed with my background inking, but all of these colors are going to lighten up to the color that's on the lid once they completely dry. So it won't be quite so dark, and that black will stand out even a little bit more. But isn't that pretty and fun? The technique's so much fun. Okay, so I do have a piece of black cardstock that I also cut using Master Layouts 2. And it's so scary. I have so much ink on my hands that... Does anybody else get completely inky when they craft? I get so inky.
Oh, for sure, me. So a really easy way for you all to support Gina and Simon Says Stamp is to give a little thumbs up to this video or like it, and even share it on your social media. That's a really easy way for you to share the love and give Gina feedback on her hard work. Thank you, Gina.
That would be awesome.
The blue.
So
which cardstock color is that?
This is Wild Wisteria. So Wild Wisteria looks really good with our light, medium, and dark lilac. And so I made a Wild Wisteria card base here. I just cut a sheet in half at 4 1/4 by 11 inches and scored it at 5 1/2 inches. And we've got that beautiful card base that just makes those colors pop. And I chose purple over blue or green because purple, there's the least amount of purple in this card. And I feel like this actually helps this shine a little bit because this kind of gets muted out because there's so much blue and there's so much green. So by using a little bit of purple, that just helps bring that out. And of course, we've got to use a few more of these little flat sequins on here. These are the crystal clear sequins. Once again, I'm going to use some Connect Matte glue, and I'm just going to put 3 on here. You can put as many as you want on yours. But I just like when you turn it side to side, if it has a little bit of sparkle, that's so fun. Let me find my tool that doesn't have glue all stuck to it. I just have to pick the glue off, and I haven't taken the time to do that yet. So I will do that off camera.
Gina,
Okay.
was I drinking when we were FaceTiming? Because I don't feel like you showed me this card. I feel like this is the first time I'm seeing this card. This is gorgeous.
Really?
I saw
Yeah,
the
maybe
yellow
we were.
ones.
Maybe we were having a beverage. I don't know.
It's
So I want to
beautiful.
so I want to show you the first one that I made and what it looks like when it lightens up a little bit. So, and also it's a lighter hand versus a heavy hand. Maybe you like more pastel colors. You could even go with lighter colors. Instead of turquoise, you could do sea glass. Instead of lucky clover, you could do apple mint. So you could lighten it up a little bit. But either way, it's such a fun layout and definitely one you should try. All right, I have one more thing to show, Heidi. Is that okay? We still
Heck
okay with
yeah,
time?
girl, you got it.
Okay. So, let's see. What do I want to do here? I want to cut one more panel here with Master Layouts 2. I'm going to zoom out a little bit because that is very, very close. There we go. I was aiming my my zoomer at my computer instead of at the camera. All right, and then I am going to cut one panel with Master Layouts 2. Actually, I think I'll use Master Layouts 21 for this. I'm going to use the plain one rather than the fancy one. So we'll use just the plain one so you can see how it layers so nicely with the black panel that I cut with Master Layouts 2. So we're going to cut this out. And then we're going to do a fun technique with a stencil that I just love. It's one of my favorite stencils in our collection. If you don't have this one yet, this is one that you might want to add to your wish list or add to your cart if you're trying to qualify for today's gift. So I'm going to use my sticky mat again. That is a grip. I'm going to use my sticky mat again. And also I wanted to tell you on this sticky mat, actually, these boxes that are on here coordinate with Master Layouts 1 and Master Layouts 2. So A and B are the same sizes as our Master Layouts 1 die set and layering die. And C and D correspond with the sizes of our Master Layouts 2. So if you're trying to center it, you'll be able to see here, I can line that right up onto that box, and then I know that it's perfectly straight on my mat. Then I can use any other line when I'm lining up a stencil or anything like that, and I know everything is going to be straight. And the reason why we did both layers is because some people like to use the larger layer in Master Layouts 1 or 2 for their white panel because they don't want to add a black shadow layer or a colored shadow layer. They just want a little bit of a bigger panel. Plus, Master Layouts 1 and Master Layouts 2 are actually graduating. So Master Layouts 2 is the smallest, and then Master Layouts 2 larger rectangle is the next size up. But this one will coordinate with the smaller one of Master Layouts 1. So they all work together. It just graduates down. And all the sizes and dimensions are right here at the bottom. So you don't have to wonder how big that space is. You just find the box that says C, and then you look at C down here, and it tells you the size. And that's a way to remember your Master Layouts 1 and 2 sizes too. Okay. So enough about that. Let's talk about my favorite stencil, which is the Twirl It Checks stencil. So this stencil looks super cool just by itself if you just go ahead and stencil it. But I want to show you something really fun that it does. And some of my people out there already have seen this in action, but for those of you that are newer to Gina K Designs, you may not have seen this one yet. So I'm centering this, and it's easy to center because the way I centered it was I made sure that the little indentation on this square up here lines up with this line, and the same indentation at the bottom here lines up with this line, and then just a little bit of the edge trickles off here and a little bit of the edge trickles off there. So this is a real easy one to line up and make sure that it's straight. So I'm going to use two really warm colors. I'm going to use, what am I going to use? Let me find my little cheat sheet of what I used. Okay, I'm going to use warm cocoa, and I'm going to use plum punch. These are two very warm colors. They could be a little autumny, but for somebody that loves warmer, more natural kinds of colors, these are really pretty. Hey, Tom, can you open this for me? Oh, no, never mind. I got it. Okay. So I'm going to use a brown blending brush here. And I'm going to just brush off any ink that might be on this blending brush that might be a little darker because I don't want this to be too dark. And I'm going to take a little bit of the warm cocoa here onto the blending brush. I'm just going to tap a little bit of that off on my piece of paper towel. And then starting in the center, actually, I'm gonna hold it this way because I'm gonna make this a vertical card. And sometimes when I'm making it a vertical card versus a horizontal card, I want to see where I'm going because I just want this to be in the center. All right, so I'm going to start in the center here with a circular motion. I'm going to work my way up a little bit and down a little bit, but I'm not going all the way to the edges. I'm just creating a little grounding panel in the center of my card that I can pop my focal image on. And it just makes it a little bit more interesting. And I'm not going with a real heavy hand, just a light hand there. Okay, so there is my first pass. Don't worry about that, it's going to get covered up. So I'm going to clean the stencil. And our first Twirl It stencil is called Twirl It Gingham. And I know Simon Says Stamp has that one too. And that one was named because you would stencil it and then you'd twirl it a quarter turn and then stencil it again, and it creates a gingham diamond pattern, and it's really pretty. Well, this one we could have called it Slide It Checks, but we wanted to stick with the Twirl It series because we're going to have more Twirl It stencils in the future. So even though we're not actually twirling, we are going to slide it. So we pulled it off here, right? Now what we're going to do is we're just going to find a spot and cover up all the checks. See, we're covering up all the checks that we just stenciled. And you're going to see a little bit of the brown edges sticking out, and that's okay. You actually want that. All right, so can you see that? I covered them up with the stencil. And now I'm going to use a blending brush with a little bit of plum punch on it. And I'm going to just wipe a tiny bit of that off so it's not too dark. And now I'm going to do the same thing again. Just with a light hand, I'm going to go in a circular motion and just fill in a little bit of that area that I was just working on. I'm not going too far. Now, we can go back. We can put the stencil back if we feel like we need to add a little bit more color. But look at the result of that. You get a stitched edge. Isn't that fun?
Gina, how did you even think of this? This is genius.
Isn't that pretty?
Yes. I'm glad you gave a little birdie's notice to our people at Simon, so we stocked up on the stencil because of this technique. That's really cool.
It's fun, and you can just do the single one. If you just want a checked background, it's super cool, just a checked background. But by just shifting it and doing it a second time, it not only creates a cool two-color pattern, but you get the white dots, so it looks like it's a stitched, almost like a little kind of checked quilt. So I love that. All right, so I'm going to put this aside for now, and we're going to stamp. We're actually going to do a little bit of edging to this, to one of these stamps. So let's just get a plain piece of white cardstock here, and we're going to do more of a monochromatic look. So we're going to use brown. I have a dark chocolate ink pad here, and we're going to go back with that. We're going to go to sweet corn. I think we'll do sweet corn. We could do warm cocoa. Let's try warm cocoa. Let's do a blend of warm cocoa and dark chocolate. We'll see how it looks. We can always do a little sweet corn in there too. All right. so let me find the one I want to use. So I'm going to use this one here, which means I'm going to use this center. Remember, we're looking for this angle and this angle to know which center to use. So we'll start here. And again, I'm going to die cut these, so it's not going to matter where I stamp it as long as it's somewhere within the paper, because we're going to die cut these. So I'm going to start with the dark chocolate center. Sounds like a candy bar. I'm going to start with the dark chocolate center. And while I have this out, I'm going to use this stem, just this one here, because I used this one on the last card. So we'll use this one. And we're also going to stamp that in dark chocolate.
Who likes peanut butter with their chocolate?
I do. Who doesn't love a peanut butter cup? Although there's been controversy about the peanut butter cup.
Gina, I don't do peanut butter. It's the one thing I don't like. I like everything else. Peanut butter and black olives. No goes.
You don't like black olives either?
No, if it's like on a pizza, I'll make it work. But if it's by itself, absolutely not.
Oh, no. All right, I'm going to do the hello. And I'm going to do that in dark chocolate too, because I'm sticking with these warm tones. And dark chocolate, even our charcoal brown, but dark chocolate is such a nice alternative to black when you're using warmer tones. And sometimes we forget about those colors, like the navies and the dark, dark, dark greens. Don't forget to use those instead of black sometimes. I know it sounds crazy coming from me because I put black on every card. I feel like I can't even make a card unless it has black. All right, what I'm going to do with this is I want to stamp it. I want to stamp it with sweet corn first. All right. I'll stamp it with sweet corn. Going to stamp it with sweet corn one more time.
It must be lunchtime. I'm thinking about all the sweet corn we get in the summer here in Ohio.
Right?
And the Buckeyes, chocolate and peanut butter Buckeyes. Gina, did you eat lunch before your live?
I must have never eaten lunch ever because I feel like every ink pad that I named is food. I don't know what's wrong with me. It's all food. Okay. So now I'm going to take some warm cocoa on a Gina K Designs detail blending brush. And I'm going to add a little bit of warm cocoa, just tapping it into the center, kind of along the edge there, to add a little bit of depth in there.
Oh,
so it's
I
getting a
love
little bit
this.
darker. Isn't that fun? We're just adding a little bit in there. And then I'm going to go in there again with that dark chocolate and do the same thing. A little bit of dark chocolate just right along the edge.
Oh, these blending brushes are a great way for people to get $75 worth of products so they can get their free gift.
Definitely. Look how pretty that is.
Oh,
See how that kind of glows?
yeah.
Gives a lot of depth and dimension. Now, if you wanted to, you could go along the edges of the petals too with a little bit of that, and just to kind of darken up the edges, make them a little, just to kind of accent the edges. So you can do all kinds of things like that. Play with your colors and see which ones work the best for you. But that's kind of a cool looking flower, isn't it? Just got a lot of texture in it. Okay, so now we're going to die cut these 3 pieces and we're going to pop them onto our card. So let me get the die cutting machine out one more time. One final die cut. And let me get my magnetic set here. The magnetic set works great when you're die cutting those pieces that coordinate. And well, I put my die set somewhere. Here it is. I've got to find the right one. No, it's the other one.
So the die set is part of the free gift. So if you purchase $75 of Gina K and Thermal Web product, we will automatically add the stamp and die set, these peony petals stamps and dies to your shopping cart exclusively at Simon Says Stamp. The only way to get these peony petals is to purchase $75 worth of product at Simon Says Stamp. It's Gina K or Thermal Web product, just to be clear. You don't need to use a coupon code.
Yeah, and so this, just for all my people watching on my channel, this stamp and die set is not going to ever be available at Gina K Designs. This was exclusively designed just for Simon Says Stamp. So if you love it, and I do, definitely pick it up over at Simon. Okay, so now I'm going to do this hello. I shifted a little on my stem, but I think it's going to be better than horrible, and that's all that really matters. Okay.
Gina does her own live videos on her Gina K Designs YouTube channel. She does Thursdays at noon Eastern.
Yep.
And I'll let you say, Gina.
Okay, I could do that. It is Tuesday at noon. I'm sorry, Tuesday at 7 Central, which is 8 Eastern. And then on Thursday at noon Central, which is 1 o'clock Eastern. Okay, so now I probably should have cut this one out with dark chocolate cardstock, but because I didn't, and I've got one already cut out, we're gonna just assume that that's gonna be close enough. I don't think it's gonna look terrible, but what we're gonna do is we're gonna do this cute little layout where we've got our flower in the center, and we just cover this up with the hello and just make it a simple little note card that's just going to be perfect. And then I have a plum punch card base to put that on. So plum punch it's a really pretty color, and it works beautifully with a lot of our pinks. It works really nicely with our orchids. It works great with edible eggplant. I'm scared to say the names because I know everybody's getting hungry. But Reed, do you like eggplant though?
I do. Eggplant's great. Dana makes an eggplant parm I've had.
Okay, so eggplant's good. Okay. Just olive. I'm never going to name a cardstock with the word olive, knowing that you don't like it.
Thanks so much.
You're welcome. All right, so I'm going to just trim these down. These are our 1/4 inch foam squares. And I'm going to lay this out the way I want it on here. And you can see how that little background just gave the card some interest. If we just pop that onto a plain white card base, I don't think it would be as interesting. It's just got this really interesting look.
Allison said that on Tuesday nights, they even get to see Zeus on your chats, which is great. Tuesday night, 7 Central. Zeus is her, and I love that Zeus just turned 2. Achilles just turned, he's my dog, turned 9. And I saw Gina posted the most beautiful picture of Zeus on her, I think it was your Facebook, on your social media. He's such a lovely boy. And does he pop into some of your lives? Is he?
Well, he does. He just climbs up behind Tom. We have a basket back there for him, and he climbs up behind Tom, and he just sleeps for the live. He's not intrusive at all. He just, you know, we start work pretty early in the morning. And so when we're over here from early in the morning to like 9:30 at night after our live is over, or, you know, by the time we shut everything down and get out of here, it's a long day for him. So Tom usually goes home and grabs him after the warehouse closes, because we don't know if anybody's allergic to cats and we don't want to upset anyone, but Tom will grab him and bring him over, and then he just makes an appearance whenever he feels like it. It's very fun. Okay, so I've popped, I'm sorry, what's that, Reed?
I said that's awesome. I love that he gets the cameo.
Yeah, he gets the cameo, right? So I'm just using foam squares to pop these up. And then I'm going to pop this right there just to cover the bottom of that stem. I can hold on to them. I've got ink everywhere, which that's the sign of a good crafting session. When you walk away and you've got as much ink on you as your cards have on them, you've had fun.
I have another recommendation for people who are looking for $75. Your tape runner, Gina, it's on the bottom right-hand corner. Her tape runner is fantastic.
I love this tape runner. ThermoWeb, we worked for a long time on this tape runner because we were frustrated by, cards. I've been making cards long enough that I had cards sitting in my stash that were starting to fall apart. And we worked long and hard to get a tape runner that stays together. It's acid free. It works great for scrapbook pages. And the other thing that I love about the tape runner, I got to show you this since you mentioned it. Heidi, let me get a little piece of black cardstock here. Our tape runner, if you put some tape runner, can you see that on there? If you put some tape runner on your cardstock, if you put it in the wrong spot, you can just take your finger and rub it right off. It is temporary tape runner for a short period of time, and then once you let it sit, it becomes permanent. So if you need to tack something down for a second, you want to just, okay, I want to tack this down onto another piece of cardstock for a second, just to hold it in place, like for a few minutes. And then, I don't need that anymore. You can just rub your finger over it and it'll come right off. And that piece of cardstock doesn't have any residue on it at all. The other thing that's fun with it is because it is a dot design, you can foil over that and make a dotted border in foil. So you could just do this like long strip down the center of your card and then lay foil on top and burnish it with your finger and pull it off, and you'll get a dotted design border. So I think that that's pretty cool, that you could do other things with it other than just glue the paper together. So, all right. So now for this, I'm just going to add a few more of these crystal clear sequins, and using that Connect mat, put one here. One here. I'm just going to kind of frame the word hello. One, two, and
there is one, I'm
three.
answering questions too. There is one promotion, coupon code or promotion, I should say, this is the way Shopify website works. So you cannot get Gina's free gift and combine it with any other discount or promotion. So just so you know, it is one promotion per order. And this gift is $39.97 value on a $75 order. So you guys can understand why we can only afford to do one per order.
I still think that that's a crazy promotion. It's great. It's amazing.
We like to be crazy with you, Gina.
I love it. I love it so much. All right, I'm going to zoom in here a little bit on these cards. Actually, I'm just zooming my mess away is what I'm doing. So we made this card today. We made this fun card, and we made this fun card today, all with this new peaceful, what's it called? Peaceful Blooms, right? Ah! Boy, that's
no
dead
Zeus
spaces.
today.
No.
This basket is empty.
No Zeus. So there are the 3 cards that we made from this this fun stamp set, the Peony Petals. Peony Petals. So
Reed, do you want to switch to my top down, and I'll show the Peony Petals in their new, not used form. Yeah. So this is the stamp set that Gina used today. It's Peony Petals. It is exclusive for this promotion, so you will not find it anywhere else any other time. And it comes with these coordinating dies, also called Peony Petals. Once you have a shopping cart at simonsastamp.com with at least $75 of Gina K Designs and or ThermoWeb products, this will automatically pop into your cart. It's a $39.97 value. So with $75 purchase, it's a pretty darn good deal.
Mm,
What do you
it
think,
is a good
Gina?
deal. I love it. I love it.
I wish you were near Columbus. We could go grab lunch together now.
I know, that would be so fun. I feel like we need to get a little bit of eggplant, something, a little sweet corn on the side, some mango smoothie, something with
Yes.
plum. Yeah, plum wine.
Great ideas. Great ideas.
Yeah.
Thank you to everybody who watched Gina with us live today, who learned about this promotion. If you're watching us on rewatch, I hope it is while supplies last. So I hope there are still going to be supplies through the weekend available for all of you. This beautiful promotion. Thank you, Gina, for providing it for us and for teaching us all today. I learned the kissing and the smacking and all the rock and roll. I learned new techniques. I also loved how you put the acetate sheet over your card so you can line up where you wanted your sentiment to go to see that ahead of time, give you a visual. I'm very visual, so I like learning all these new things from you. It's like I'm an old dog and I can always learn a few new tricks. So thank you for teaching
You're
us some
very
new tricks.
welcome. You're
We
welcome. Thank you for
loved
having
it.
me. And thanks for doing this promotion. This is so much fun. It was fun for me to design, and it was just fun for me to spend time with you and everybody on both my channel and the Simon Says Stamp channel today. Super fun.
Thank you. Thank you. So all of you guys, this is while supplies last. Thanks to everybody. Thanks to Reed and Brian for joining us today and for you being live and everybody who is chatting live with us. We love to get to see and hear what you're thinking. As we always say, toodaloo, and have a wonderful, wonderful weekend. Thank you, Gina. Bye.
Bye.